Welcome to Books and Besties, the virtual book fair. Share this link with others and get ready for something awesome. Books and Besties, the virtual book fair.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time zone you're in, whatever time of the day it is. Welcome to Books and Besties. I am the Queen Bee, Dr. Angie B, and I'm one of your hosts of the show. We are here with you Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we bring you authors, entrepreneurs, ministry leaders, and community leaders, people that you probably wouldn't have otherwise had a chance to meet or to learn about. And so my co-host and I are excited and honored to be able to bring them to you. I am in my studio in Jacksonville, Florida. And if you are watching from someplace outside of Florida, please put in the comments your city and state, your country, where you're watching from, so we can keep you in our prayers and give shout out to you and your location. Okay. Today we want to do something kind of unique. We've got guests that are lined up, and we've got upcoming events that we want to tell you about. So I'm going to play a couple of videos for you first before I bring in my co-host, and then we'll get started right away. Okay? Don't go anywhere. Maternal Matters Favored, mmfavored.org presents their 4th annual charity broadcast event for those with perinatal and postpartum mood disorders. This 24 Hours of Favor annual fundraiser takes place Mother's Day weekend. Mental health aids maternal health. Seeing mothers, supporting minds, and saving lives. Broadcast produced by NGB Productions. Log on to mmfavored.org for more information. That's mmfavored.org for more information. 24 Hours of Favor. In Worthy Beyond Expectations, Tamisi Gordon shines a powerful light on the unspoken weight often carried by firstborn children. From responsibility placed on young shoulders to silent sacrifices made for the sake of the family, this heartfelt story explores the pressure to be strong, mature, dependable, beyond their years, through struggle, resilience, and self-discovery. Worthy Beyond Expectations gives voice to the eldest child's journey, reminding us that even the strongest need understanding, support, and space to simply be a child. Worthy Beyond Expectations by Tamisi Gordon. Audiobook produced by NGB Productions and narrated by me, the Queen Bee, Angie B. Yep, we got Worthy Beyond Expectations. You guys saw our exclusive interview with the author of that book. We interviewed her exclusively last week, and her book is now available. Just search for Worthy Beyond Expectations on Amazon, and you'll see it there. Later on in the show, we'll hear about Dr. Doretha Smith's book, and maybe a book or two that my co-host has written. So right now, let's bring in author Avalon S. Brown. Hey.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Good morning. on
Good
this
morning.
rainy morning.
Is it raining?
Yes, yes, yes.
I tell you, April showers bring May flowers. I guess that's
Right,
what they say.
right.
Yeah, yeah. I am excited about our first guest, Bianca. She's here and she's ready to go. Man, her bio is something fabulous. You wanna you wanna read a little bit of her bio before we bring her in?
Yes, Bianca is a nurse educator, a PhD nursing student, and a children's author inspired by her journey as a mother raising a child with ADHD. Through both her professional background and lived experience, she understands the challenges and growth that come with neurodiversity. She is also a co author of My Brain is My Superpower to help children see their differences as strength, encouraging creativity, energy, and problem solving as gifts to embrace.
Oh my God. Welcome
Yes.
to the show, dear. Welcome.
Thank you.
Hi, Bianca.
Hi, how are you?
Good, good, good. So tell us about your journey. What's going on?
So, or as you mentioned, I am a nurse. 2026 will actually make my 10th year being a nurse. I think August 2026. I am currently in school as a PhD candidate at Walden, and I'm still in the beginning stages of school. I started school last August. So, right now, like a lot of my assignments are based on what I want my dissertation to be about, which is I know neurodiversity is so broad, but that is the premises of where I want to go. And then I'll narrow it down once I get, to my proposal and things like that. But I was inspired by to write a book. It's always been a dream to write a children's book. And I have three children, a 13-year-old daughter, which who inspired me to write the book, an 11-year-old son, and a 5-year-old little girl. My 13-year-old is the one who has ADHD, and she was diagnosed in the third grade. As a nurse, because I'm a pediatric nurse too, I had experience with children with ADHD, but it's different when you're taking care of a kid for 12 hours and you read their history and then you go home, or send them home, or you go home, they stay at the hospital, versus living with a child who has it. And I always tell people I am no expert. So, no, I am not here to diagnose anyone else or to tell them about their child, just a mom who is living the experience currently. And it is a journey. So, my daughter was diagnosed in the third grade, and I knew something was wrong, and I was like, oh, the teachers keep calling and she's a disruption, or she's loud, or she just won't stay seated. And I could see it at home too, and it took me a minute to get her diagnosed, even though I was like, I think she has ADHD. And honestly, as a mom, I was afraid to get her diagnosed at first because I did not want her to be labeled. So
Right.
even when I actually got her diagnosed, I didn't tell her teachers for about 6 months. I didn't say anything at all. And I was like, well, we'll manage it at home. We'll do our research, do what we need to do. And I didn't say anything. So finally, after the 6 months, I was like, okay, I should probably be a little bit more forward with them. And I told them. Well, when the phone calls still start coming home, they would always start the conversation with, well, I know she has ADHD. And I'm like, let's stop that. I said, it's not a crutch. Yes, she has it. So me telling them was so we know how to move around, help her, pour into her a little bit more. Not for every time you guys call, we start the conversation with, I know she has this. And I was honest with them. I said, that's why I didn't want to say anything.
Right.
I live in Georgia. So this is when we were in DeKalb County. We moved to Gwinnett 3 years ago. And so we're in the Gwinnett County School District now, and it has been a game changer because now and I was afraid, like I heard, let the teachers know, get the IEP, all these steps, and I was very reluctant. I was like, no, don't do that. So finally, when we came to Gwinnett, I did get the IEP, and we had an IEP meeting. And I did learn there's a difference between an IEP and a 504 plan. I did not know that for a long time. But when we had the IEP meeting, they allowed me to let them know what I felt like would help her in school. Now, every day is not peaches and cream still, and she's 13. We are still, and I don't think this is a journey that has an end point. Like, as she gets older, it was different because I thought, well, as she gets into her preteen, this will be a little bit easier. Oh no. Teenage girl, ADHD, hormones, that combination together, I was like sometimes I feel like we're back to the drawing board. But I will say she's very loving. She's fun. She plays softball and she's a cheerleader. So she's super athletic. She likes to bake. So I have to find ways to help her with the things that she likes to do too. So, you know, and I'm guilty of it too. Like sometimes I'm like, hey, you're doing too much. Like, oh, you're a little bit too much. And she said to me, she's like, Mom, I don't like when you say that.
Mm.
And I asked her why. She was like, she said, when you tell me I'm doing too much, it makes me feel like I'm always doing something wrong.
Oh, okay.
So I stopped saying it. So when I got the idea to write the book, I co-wrote the book with my mom. And I was like, you know, not just for Kaylin, but for any other child, girl or boy who is dealing with ADHD, I think that it's if they learn how to feed into, that's why I called it my brain is my superpower. Their superpower in different modes. Like, no, you're not doing too much. Sometimes you may have really big emotions, but that's okay. Let's learn how to channel them. And in the book, it's called the rainbow mode. I'm like, if you're feeling fidgety, we called it the Zoom mode, right? So, like I told Kaylin, it took her a while to read the book. I said I dedicated the book to you, and she wouldn't read it for a long time, but she finally read it. And I was like, you know, the book made me think of her because I'm like, you have these different modes depending on what you're doing, but it is a superpower once you learn how to use them. I'm like, you have big emotions. She feels her feelings and everyone else's feelings, which is sweet. But I'm like, when you learn how to turn that into almost magic, people will get to see the loving side of you. I said, when you're in school and sometimes you may be overwhelmed, you feel like you got to go here, there, and everywhere. If you channel that into creativity,
Yes.
you won't
Yes.
be doing too much, you know?
Yeah.
So
Right.
I've learned to, and when I read the book, I was like, I told my mom, I was like, you know, sometimes as an adult, I have these modes too. So I'm like,
Mhm.
you know, going through the book and writing it and thinking of just personal things with Kaylin, I'm like, for you or anyone else who feels like sometimes I feel like my brain is chaotic, it's not. Your brain is powerful. Just learn how to use it, learn how to channel it. I'm like, this is not just for school, it's when you're at home, when you're
Right.
playing sports, any team related activity you do. I'm like, there's nothing wrong with you. So don't ever let anyone tell you you're too much. Your feelings are too big. You can't sit still. Something must be wrong. I'm like, there's nothing wrong with you. And again, like I said, as a mom, I had to kind of change my verbiage with her as well. And learn how to pour into her as well too, a little bit more than what I was doing because I thought I was doing enough. But
Right.
then writing the book, I'm like, let me tap into her creative side. So she started a cookie business.
Aww.
Right.
And she's really good. I was like, you now, said you can't be cooking cookies every day because you know it's not the healthiest thing in the world, but her cookies are delicious. So she started a cookie business. Fell in love. She sells cookies at schools. We've done some little pop-up shops before in the neighborhood, and she loves it. So I'm like tapping into her creative side, and what we're working on now is more organization and how to channel really, really big emotions. So I say all that to say too, it's still every day is a learning experience. There is no stopping point, you know, with this. So when I wrote the book, I just wanted every child to feel heard because now that I think that mental health is more of a bigger topic and people don't shy away. And even a lot of adults are getting diagnosed with ADHD later on in their life.
Mhm.
So It's for mainly for children, yes, but if anyone ever reads it, one of my coworkers recently read it. She was like, I really resonated with your book as an adult. And she said to me, she's like, it made me feel heard. And I'm like, well, good. And she's a
Mm,
woman. So I'm like, that was my hope, is that if one child or anyone reads this book and they're like, I know anytime I walk into a room, I don't have to feel afraid that someone may think I'm just over the top, you know?
mm-hmm.
So it was my one little project. My mom is amazing. She's the
Mhm.
other author, Dr. Kim Marshall. I came to her, I said, Mom, I want to write a children's book, and this is what I want it to be about. And she said, okay, let's do it. Feet on the ground instantly. So I owe a lot to my mom in helping me with this book, because I really feel like she made my dream come true too.
Mm-hmm.
Amen. Amen.
Yes, I'm telling
Amen.
you.
Listen, before we keep going, how can our audience get in touch with you? Do you have a website or an email address I can put up on the screen?
Can I put it in the chat box?
Uh, yes, you can. Do you want it on the screen?
I'm okay with my email. If anyone wanted to reach out, I'm okay with that.
Okay. Just spell it out for me and I'll
Okay.
I'll I'll type it up.
It's D as in dog,
Uh-huh.
J as in Jack,
Uh-huh. Mhm. Mhm.
ANELLEWIS at gmail.com.
Okay, look at your name and see if I spelled it correctly up under your
Yes,
name.
you did. Mhm.
All right, that's good. That's good. Now, what city are you in Georgia?
I live in Lawrenceville,
And what's the next largest city to Lawrenceville?
Atlanta.
Oh, okay, okay. Because
Mm.
we're having shameless plug. We're having a beauty bazaar in Jacksonville, Florida, in September. I would love for your daughter to come and sell some cookies.
What's the date?
It's the 19th, the third weekend in September. It's a weekend retreat. It's a fundraiser for alopecia awareness. And
September 19th in Jacksonville.
in Jacksonville, Florida. Yep.
Okay.
If you go on Facebook and
Hmm.
search for Bold, Beautiful, and Bald Beauty Bazaar, it'll
Hmm.
pop up with all the information, the vendor
Okay.
information. That would be
Okay.
so cool to meet her and you
Cool.
too, of course.
Thank
But yeah,
you.
yeah, we don't have anybody selling cookies.
But listen, her
Yeah, that
cookies
would be
are
nice.
delicious. My favorite one, she does a Biscoff butter
Wow.
cookie, and she takes the Biscoff and she freezes like Biscoff balls, makes her batter, and then when she bakes it, she like the Biscoff butter ball melts into the cookie.
Oh,
And you
wow.
know, when she
Nice.
did it, she came to me one day. She was like, Mom, I found a cookie recipe on TikTok and I want to try it. And I said, okay. And she tried one and then came up with all these different flavors. And that's what she's been doing. So she one day I said, well, let's buy a box, or show me what you need and I'll get it and let's see how it goes. And she hasn't messed up a cookie yet.
Wow, nice, nice, nice.
Oh, that is wonderful. Tell us about why a children's book. I mean, I know it probably resonates with adults, but um, and the reason I ask is because Avalon has a slew of children's books, and she's encouraged me to write my first one. But why did you go that route?
Honestly, my daughter, because it was what I was currently living in. And also, I would say my daughter, and because I've worked peds, like I love as a nurse, pediatric was my first passion. So
Mm.
that's what started, I will say, working in peds. And in this particular book, definitely my daughter. And I people say it's hard to write children's books because it's a harder audience to reach, is what I've heard, like being in different groups on Facebook and just doing research. And I'm like, well, kids still like to read. They have book clubs in school, the Scholastic Book Fair. I'm like, kids like books. And I was very adamant about it being hard copy because I've had questions like, are you going to make a Kindle version? I didn't want to do that because I still think kids need to pick up books and flip pages. They do everything else on the computer anyway. So, but yeah, it was definitely my love for peds and then having a daughter who was, dealing with ADHD too. And it was a no-brainer for me. Like when I said I want to write a book, immediately I was like a children's book.
Mm-hmm.
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 Wow.
Absolutely. That is so good.
Yeah.
I know Avalon has more questions, but we're going to take a quick break and hear about some other things that are going on. And then we'll be right back with more of Books and Besties. Don't go anywhere. Still, I care. Nurses rising after bullying. Presented by visionary author Avalon S. Brown, RN, BSN. Still, I care. Nurses Rising After Bullying is a powerful and restorative anthology that amplifies the voices of nurses who faced workplace bullying, yet chose resilience over silence. Within these pages, their stories uncover the unseen wounds behind the scrubs, where whispers, exclusion, and systematic mistreatment tried to dim the light of compassionate hearts. But these nurses did not surrender. From quiet tears in the break room to hard-won triumphs at the bedside, this collection celebrates the courage, purpose, and unwavering care that embody the true spirit of nursing. Whether you are a nurse, a healthcare leader, or someone who has ever felt overlooked, this book will encourage you to rise, advocate for others, and believe that healing is always within reach. Still, I care. Nurses Rising After Bullying. Presented by visionary author Avalon S. Brown.
Wake up and turn your Saturday all the way up with Mornings with Angie B. Every Saturday from 8 to 10 a.m. Angie B is bringing you the hottest and newest Christian hip-hop music with a message, beats that bless, and vibes that lift your spirit. Whether you're getting ready for the day or cruising through the weekend, Angie B's got your soundtrack, faith, fire, and flavor. Don't miss Mornings with the Queen Angie B every Saturday, 8 to 10 a.m. on City Worship Radio.
Divinely Chosen, the Lord God with a Master Plan. Dr. Doretha Smith's book has an inspiring message of faith, purpose, and divine guidance through heartfelt reflections and spiritual insight. She reminds readers that God's plan is always perfect, even when life feels uncertain. This book is a call to trust in His timing, follow His directions, and embrace the unique calling He has placed upon your life. With wisdom grounded in Scripture and personal testimony, Dr. Smith empowers you to step boldly into your God-given destiny, knowing you have been divinely chosen for a purpose greater than yourself. Divinely Chosen, the Lord God with the Master Plan, written by Dr. Doretha Smith. Search for Divinely Chosen Lord Master Plan on Amazon. And don't forget to leave a review. I tell you, we got so many new books that are out and upcoming events. We got so much news that I'm trying to get it all to you so that you can see it, and we don't want you to miss anything. So we've got Bianca Frank here, and we've got a message that came in through text. So Avalon, come on in. And then we're going to ask her the one question that somebody texted, and then you can get back to your interview with her. Hey, Bianca. Hey. Long time no see. A viewer sent in a text, and they said, don't we all have some ADHD in us? And I wonder what's your opinion on that thought. I can see Avalon's face working.
So that's a good question because I'll start here. When I got my daughter diagnosed, I learned that there's a difference between ADHD. To me is an umbrella. Again, I am no expert, but I've read a few things. ADHD is an umbrella. The symptoms in girls present differently than in boys.
Oh.
Also, the symptoms, a woman who has ADHD versus a man who has ADHD also is very different. So you will see a lot now, even on social media, like symptoms in ADHD women, or this is what ADHD looks like in this age group, and they were later diagnosed. Do I think everyone has a little bit of ADHD in them? That is hard to say yes or no, because in school, I recently did a discussion post, and there was a study, I believe, in Canada on women who had ADHD, and they were later diagnosed, but they had lived with it for so long. So what they thought was normal and maybe operating, and for example, in moments of chaos all the time, they're like, oh, I've been doing this for so long. I'm always all over the place. But they're like, oh, high functioning women, high performing women, they had just been going, and then they burn out, or they've been going, and they're realizing, why am I always like here, there, and everywhere? But they've been doing it for so long. But now that ADHD is a more discussed topic, they realize this stemmed a long time ago in childhood. And to be transparent, I was diagnosed when I was 30. I'm 34. I was 30 or 31. And it made sense. I am a nurse, and I would like to pat myself on the back and say I'm a great nurse. But in school, I did struggle. If I am reading, my brain, these words on the paper, I could read 2 sentences and then I'm up washing dishes. Or I can read a chapter and then all of a sudden I'm like, I had an appointment here. What did I do here? I got girl. Like, I would just be everywhere. Everyone is not like that. But I had been doing that for so long. And I even asked my mom, I'm like, girl, why you never got me tested? But back then, they did not talk about ADHD like that. So it was always like
they didn't talk about it, and they didn't want their kids to be labeled with something.
Right.
Yeah.
So and even when I was reading, I forgot the name of the sheet where I had to fill out to get Kaylin diagnosed, but I was reading it and I was like, I do these things. There's a diagnostic form, because I had to fill it out and then take it to her teachers. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And I was like, I'm grown though. Like, I've been living like this my whole life. But some people can function way better than others. To answer the question, does everyone have a little touch of ADHD? I would not say yes. Because some people are far more organized and they can do what needs to be done and they are totally fine. For some, it is very difficult. It shows up in your work. It shows up in how your house may look. It may show up, and it's called ADHD and then executive functioning are the two topics that like go hand in hand.
Oh, I've never heard of executive functioning. Oh,
It's a lot of people who are actually diagnosed with ADHD, especially kids too. They struggle with the executive functioning skills, which are time management, staying on task, organization, those 3 things. And I had started reading a lot more about it because that's what I'm hoping my dissertation can be on. So
Mm, yeah.
Evelyn, what are your thoughts?
Well, for one, I can only speak on me. I don't have uh that touch of ADHD. Even when I'm at work or something like that, they always used to say, Avalon, you always strolling when you working. But my work get done. But
mhm.
that and they always think I'm you nonchalant about stuff. You don't I never see you rushing around to do da like the other nurses. But I guess because I was more organized, my work got done. I was able to go home on time. So I wouldn't say I would have it in me. I can't speak for everybody else, but I don't think I have. Now, my granddaughter think I have OCD because I always want everything in the place where I put it in a certain
Yep.
Mhm.
place. If I organize something, don't move it out of that place.
That's how my mom is.
Yeah.
Don't move what I put. If I put it there, don't move it. When I go back, I expect it to be in the spot that I put it. And then
Yeah.
if it's not, she'll see me move it. Like I knew you was gonna move that. But I dealt with a grandson that had ADHD, and that was be one of the questions. How supportive was the school? Because this school wasn't very supportive.
When we moved in DeKalb, I don't think we got the support we needed. When we moved that was a school where I was saying every time I talked to them, they would always start with, "Well, I know she has ADHD," and I didn't like that. When we came to Gwinnett, my daughter even noticed a difference. The third week of school, and I remember because it almost brought tears to my eyes. She was standing in the driveway and she said, "Mom," this was in 5th grade. She said, "Mom, my teachers are so nice." She said, "They actually pay attention and they listen to me." She was like, "They don't always rush me off." She was like, they actually hear what I have to say." And I was like,
Wow. That is
I said,
phenomenal.
Yeah,
I'm glad
yeah.
she said it and she noticed it. And it made me like stop in my tracks because sometimes it's like maybe looking back, she shut down at her other school because she didn't think they would listen to her anyway. What I like about the school she's in now, they have an IEP team. So there's someone who is over IEPs, and then we have a meeting with all of the teachers and we discuss the IEP plan. If there's ever a time where I feel like, hey, can we adjust this or add this? They're like, no problem, let's implement it. They give me suggestions, they gave me resources. I had a teacher who told me they think it would be a good idea for her to have her own personal planner because apparently in middle school, they don't give out planners like they did in elementary. So he said,
Mm,
buy her a planner, have her write down all of her assignments for each class, and have the teachers initial it to hold herself accountable for like, hey, this is my planner. I wrote my work down. It in lieu of you're going to do your work. But it was like a double check too. Like she knows what homework she has to do. We saw her write it down and we signed it. And that was her teacher's idea. We also came up with one where if she ever feels like she needs to just like take a moment out of the classroom, she'll let them know like, hey, I just need to step out for a second. And they don't ask any questions like, now we're not
mhm,
saying go stroll in the hallway, but if you need a breather outside of the classroom, do that. They're very patient with her as well. Now, have we had phone calls at this school? Yes, we have. But even when I talk to them, they will just simply say, hey, this was a situation. We really love her. We just think she might need a little bit of redirection. It's
Oh,
never like a bashing session.
oh
So I
right.
my.
feel like I will honestly say they have given her a lot of grace. And I think this set of teachers at this school, they see far beyond her diagnosis to me because they
Oh,
Yeah.
still speak very highly of her with also recognizing, yes, she still has some things to improve on, but they always speak positive first and like, hey, she's really good at this, or, we really love her. She had a bad moment or a rough day. We just wanted to let you know in hopes that you can partner with us and we can redirect her, see how tomorrow goes. Very
that's
positive. So this particular school has been excellent. They were the ones who really walked me through the difference between a 504 and an IEP based on what she needed.
Mhm.
Um, And I really love that because I told them, I was like, I thought they were the same thing. So this
Wow.
school has been phenomenal, and it gets to follow her through school.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because with my grandson, he went through that first and second grade with them constantly calling us, come pick him up, come pick him up. Until I went to the principal and said, is there something you can do? But the principal didn't. It wasn't until I was working in dialysis as a charge nurse, and the social worker that worked there happened to work in the school system too. She had two jobs. And she wrote this letter and she said, there's a school study team that's supposed to help. So when I gave them that letter, that's when they got the team. That's when they let me know about the team. And they eventually they put him in another school that only had like I guess 3 or 4 children in the class, and the school district had to pay for him to go to that special school. But
Wow.
had not I mentioned that at work, we wouldn't have never known about the school study team that takes care of children like that. Yeah, the school was upset because yeah, they had to pay they, because they were actually making him worse because when he got fidgety and walk around or walk out of class, the security guard was always trying to restrain him, which sent him into a frantic. Because
Mhm.
one day they was restraining him so much until I got there. When I got there and made them let him loose, he was out of breath. He was
Oh.
out of breath. Yeah, and I told them, this child has asthma. Had he had an asthma attack, we would have sued him. But I'm just saying, even the principal was telling us what kind of support that we were supposed to get. And had not she wrote that letter, I wouldn't have never known. We wouldn't have never got the help, not in that school.
Mm,
Wow.
that's a shame.
I think that some of the resources that are out there, it takes people doing a lot of their own research and then bringing it to the schools like, hey,
Yeah.
I saw that this is available, or I saw that the county offers this. What can we do? Sometimes they are not just forthcoming with the information that the
Right.
kids need. Do I think it has gotten better over time? Yes, because there is a very large amount of children who have ADHD in schools. So it's almost like they have to do something about it now because
Yeah.
it's like you said before, it's a little bit more discussed, but some of the resources that are out there, they're not just like advertised like, hey, we can help you do this if you come to the print. They're not doing that. There's no billboard saying we'll help you, you
No.
know? You have to come with them. They're afraid of a person who knows a little bit too much information. And once you let them know you know what you know, then they're like, oh, as a matter of fact, we do have these resources.
Yeah.
Instead of just, kind of handing them out because a lot of students could benefit from them.
Yeah. Because I worked like per diem during the summer. I was substitute as a school nurse. I've done a little bit of everything.
Mhm.
I was substitute as a school nurse, and at this particular school, it was a school just for children with ADHD, and it was 90 students in that school. And I was like shocked because I was like, you really have a school that many children, you know, on
Yeah.
eight. It was just shocking to see that there was a separate school with just that many children, from all the different areas going to that school.
Interesting. A school just for that population.
Yes. Yes.
I tell you, it's a lot to learn. And I'm grateful that you have your book because that is going to be
Yeah.
a resource for parents that are doing their research.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
awesome. Awesome.
I have to
Let,
get a copy of that.
let me interrupt for a second and give some shout outs. Nakia Marie, thank you for joining us and giving us a little heart today. Thank you. And Janet Harrison is watching today. We miss you, Janet. How you doing? Shout out to those that are watching us on YouTube and on NGB Productions on Facebook. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
And Bianca is also a co-author in our upcoming anthology.
All
Yay.
Yes.
right. All right. What was that like writing just a chapter?
I told my mom, I was like, Mom, look what I'm doing. I was so excited. Just because I really like nursing education, and just to have the opportunity to share my views was for me enlightening. And I'm like, I'm I'm not a baby nurse anymore, but I mean, I have 10 years of experience, but just the things I've seen in those 10 years, and just to, if it touches one nurse, that was all I hope for. Because I think nursing changed after COVID a lot. And it's twofold. Nursing change, we have a shortage of nursing, but they've also made, I feel like they've made nursing harder. And I always tell people it's still a rewarding career. I never had a plan B. So if my plan A for nursing didn't work, I'm not really sure what I would
Right.
have done, because it wasn't like I want to be a nurse or a firefighter. No, I've only ever wanted to be a nurse. So
Oh,
I think some of the things
Yeah.
I've seen and where nursing is now, I want people to still love the profession. I want the nurses who are in school to still want to be a nurse in their heart. Like, I'll tell anyone, please don't do this for the money. If you're here for that, you are in the wrong place. You have to love this career. You have to love taking care of people. One thing nursing taught me is to have a little bit tougher skin, not lose
Mhm.
my compassion, but have tougher skin. So to be able to share the views, and I really love the questions that were presented to us. I had fun. I had a lot of fun doing it. And I was like, I appreciate you asking me to be a part of it. Because at first I was nervous. I was like, now I've never done something like that. Now, yeah, I wrote a whole book. I've never done something like this before, but I had a good time. Like, I really hope it reaches the person who needs it with all the authors
Mhm.
involved.
Yeah.
wonderful, wonderful. Do you have your book that we can see the cover?
I
Uh,
do. Can y'all see?
Oh,
oh,
nice.
move up just a little bit.
Look.
Oh, yes. How
Yeah. That's
beautiful.
nice, isn't that?
How beautiful.
And then my favorite part of the book, it's a book in the back. There is a parent teacher guide, and then there's a final page just for the child. It's almost like a contract in a sense. And it just kind of lets them know, we see you, we hear you, and then they read it, kind of sign it. But there is the final page for the child, and there's a parent teacher guide. Like, if a teacher ever got a hold of the book, something that they can read through and work through with their students, it's like a little worksheet in the back with reflective
Nice,
questions.
nice,
And we called it the Super Mind Promise in the back. So my
wonderful.
my hope for the book is, I would really like to see this in like the scholastic book fairs, so it's accessible right
Mhm.
then. I also really would like to see it in schools. My daughter, last week, they have a book club at her school in her language arts class, and the teacher sent us a list of books they could choose from. And I wanted to reach out and like, how do I get my book a part of that list of books for kids to choose from? Because all they're going by is reading the description on the book and picking one. So, because none of the books on the list I had ever heard of either, nor did my daughter. But I'm like, I really want this book to be in schools too, like, for, be a part of a book club for kids. So, and
Wonderful.
it's interesting because I'm not really a like forefront person. So this was a huge step to write a book and like put my face out there. I was like, oh gosh, I had
Wow.
the dream. Now I'm here.
Well, congratulations,
Thank
Bianca. We
you.
appreciate you for being our guest today. We've learned so much,
Yes,
and
yes.
well, I look forward to you coming back when Avalon brings all her authors together. Yeah, we'll
Yes.
be able to do
Yes.
that
I'm
again.
excited about that.
All right, we're going to put you backstage. Hopefully, you can stick around for a few more minutes. I want you to
Okay.
meet Spencer Hickson. Spencer has arrived and he is ready to come on. Come on
Uh-huh.
board.
Okay. Spencer is an identical twin and a stay home dad with a passion for storytelling and character psychology. He
Mm.
began writing his debut novel, A Sinister Love, in 2011, which was published in 2024, followed by a second novel in 2025 and a third in 2026. He's also developing a romance web novel and continuing contributing to the horror genre, with work features in Panoply and an upcoming anthology, T. He draws inspiration from a wide ranges of experiences outside of writing. He enjoys painting, building wooden kits, and have spent 5 years as a board game reviewer.
All right. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Welcome, Spencer. My goodness. You had me sold at Identical Twin. You had me
Yes.
sold. What
Yep.
city and state do you live in?
I'm in Mishawaka, Indiana,
Oh, what
but
is
my identical twin is in Atlanta, Georgia. So there's a little bit of a difference. Distance.
Welcome to the show. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
I want to go right in. I want to see a copy of your book. You got the book cover. I want to see it.
This is one of them.
I knew it. I knew it.
The Sinister, Sinister Love.
Oh my goodness. Look at her with her wings. I tell you.
If you get a close look, you're not gonna be able to do it like up close here. But if you get to look at it online, you'll notice that her wings are actually the pages of books.
Oh man.
Oh.
And this is the newer one.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yes.
In an hourglass. Oh,
Mhm.
yes. I knew they'd be creative. I knew they would be.
I am very fond of my my artist. She's very good.
How'd you find her?
Nice. Okay.
It was a website. I think it was Upworks, and she's from the Philippines. So I never would have met her if it wasn't for the website.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Oh, wow.
That's how you
That's
make
nice.
those
Yeah.
connections. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Well, tell us a little bit about the journey as an author in your genre. Why not romance or comedy or erotica? Why did you pick that genre for your books?
I just sort of fell into it. I have not particularly read a lot of urban fantasy novels before I started, but I just had this idea, and out of that one came more ideas, and then more ideas came out, and it just seems to fit. I don't usually like doing erotica. I feel if I need to do that, then I'm failing as an author.
Oh goodness. I never heard it described like that.
Yeah, I like my stories to shine through, my characters.
Okay. Nice.
How do you come up with characters? I've never written a novel, and so that fascinates me that you can create a whole person for the pages of your book. What is your process for coming up with characters?
I have different processes for it. For instance, in the first book, that main character, she's actually a demon who gets redeemed, but she has a flaw, and all of my demons have a flaw that causes them to fall. So I came up with hers. Hers is cowardice. And so I came up with how would that form her, and all the other characters came out of some flaw. And then how could they use the journey of the story to either overcome it or to be overcome by it? And in the other one, I knew I had an idea. I wanted one of the characters, for instance, to be a narcissist. And well, he's the villain.
Yeah.
I had to do a lot of research into narcissism. And I did this because I knew I wanted to give readers an idea of what to look for. If there's a narcissist and you don't know what to look for, I have some red flags in there, the things that they say, the way that they act, so that if someone's like acting like this in your life, maybe you should talk to them about it or talk to an expert about it.
Wow. That's deep. That
I'm telling you, yes, it is.
I never would have thought of that. I I write Christian books, so I'm either writing about a testimony or something that I learned in Bible study, or I just sit here and say, Lord, what do you want me to write? I still, it fascinates me that people can come up with characters, and the characters are deep enough to where you can relate to them. Not
Yep.
wow.
There are some tricks to the trade. Different dimensions you can give characters. You don't want every character to be a 3-dimensional character, or the story will never get anywhere. Background characters should be 1 or 2-dimensional, so you have 1 or 2 specific traits. But your main characters, you have to have the trait of what they believe in. You have to have a trait of what their flaw is, and their background. And these things can all they can be for each other or against each other, and it makes the conflicts that are natural in people, because none of us actually make sense. We're humans.
Listen, I want to put your contact information up on the screen, Mr. Hicks. So do you prefer a website or an email address?
My website's fine. It's spencerhickson.com.
Okay. I can do that. I can put that up there. And while I'm doing that, I'll let Avalon get her question in.
So do you sound like you do research on these characters in order to bring them to life? Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I like to create a psychological profile for each character, and then I also create a character arc. So every character has their own story arc. And the psychological profile, I had to do research. I don't have a degree in psychology. I might change that someday, but I doubt it. And like in the most recent one, that romance web novel, I knew that there was something in psychology about anxious and avoidant people, and how these people usually end up in a relationship. So I had it where you have one anxious person and 2 avoidant people, and one of the avoidant people is trying to change and the other one isn't. And so you will see how it changes the relationships. Yeah, so I come up with these things. I try to do research. I don't know where it all comes from.
That's a creative
Do it take
brain.
you a long time? Does it take a long time to do this research?
Sometimes. I have done a lot of it, so a lot of it I just have to do some touching up, looking back and looking at the DSM-5, things like that. But for the most part, it doesn't take that long.
Wow.
The DSM-5.
Oh, that's it's like the standard for psychologists to use and therapists and things like that.
Okay. You sound like someone from my favorite show, Criminal Minds, trying to doing all that research. Yeah.
Well, I have ADHD, and with it, there's you get depression and you get time blindness and you get all these other things, and so I wanted to overcome it. I wanted to learn more about it, and that's one of the ways to do it. Unfortunately, it's not. They're still working on how to properly put it in there and categorize it. It's always a work in progress. But that's kind of, I guess, the start of the journey of going into the psychological profile, because when I started to learn all of the different things that ADHD does to someone, and I go, oh, that's me. Oh, that's also me. Oh, yeah. And then I go, okay, this is powerful stuff.
Now, were you diagnosed as a child or an adult?
As a child, I was, I think, 4 or 5.
Wow. Yeah. I have a special young lady in my life who I knew as a child, but was not diagnosed until she was an adult. And she said to me that she could tell once the diagnosis came, she could look back and see, that was
so
me.
Women are generally better at masking it, and so they don't get diagnosed until later. And so that's what you're finding is a lot of women who are older are now getting the diagnosis that they should have had 20, 30 years ago.
Avalon, he was just saying that he has ADHD, but he knows that women can mask it better than men, and I wonder why.
Funny story about that. I was diagnosed when I was 4 or 5, and I have a twin brother. And I was put on this very strange diet for a certain amount of time, and my brother wasn't. And looking back and doing some of the research, I realized I was in a study group, medical study. My brother was the control, and I was the one they were testing the medicine on, or the diet on, to see if it would affect ADHD.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fascinating.
Mm.
Absolutely fascinating. My brain is just, I wonder how much your ADHD allows you to be creative and allows you to have these characters. I wonder if there's a correlation between the two.
There is. Usually so people without ADHD, they form a pathway of neurons. So you use this thing and this thing and this thing, and it gets reinforced. And so when you need to think of something, your brain immediately goes down that path, and it's really fast. Someone with ADHD, we don't actually form those pathways. So I think of something here, and then I need to make a pathway back. And so I learn how to do lateral thinking very quickly, as opposed to creating these habits. And so that means most people with ADHD are more creative. I also have something called hyperphantasia, so I have a very active imagination. And that definitely helps too. I like to get in the head of every character. Sometimes I regret that.
Wow.
Oh, that is wonderful. Listen, we want to introduce you to Bianca Frank. We're going to bring her
Yes.
back in just a
Okay.
minute, because this is never a
It
coincidence.
correlate, right?
Yes, never a coincidence. But let's learn about Doretha Smith's book and one more thing before we get us all together. So don't go anywhere, everybody. We'll be right back. Divinely Chosen, the Lord God with a master plan. Dr. Doretha Smith's book has an inspiring message of faith, purpose, and divine guidance through heartfelt reflections and spiritual insight. She reminds readers that God's plan is always perfect, even when life feels uncertain. This book is a call to trust in His timing, follow His directions, and embrace the unique calling He has placed upon your life. With wisdom grounded in scripture and personal testimony, Dr. Smith empowers you to step boldly into your God-given destiny, knowing you have been divinely chosen for a purpose greater than yourself. Divinely Chosen, the Lord God with the Master Plan, written by Dr. Doretha Smith. Search for Divinely Chosen Lord Master Plan on Amazon. And don't forget to leave a review. A Conversation with Mama.
Many will come on this segment and they will come because they need to have a conversation with their mama.
Amen.
A Conversation with Mama is a series of episodes that discuss different topics that are important to you. Standing on God's Word and the Scripture as found in Proverbs 31:26. Now it's time for today's episode of A Conversation with Mama. Sundays at 3:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Really excited about Dr. Doretha Smith's book. There have been a handful of people that have asked about the book. So please use the contact information that's on that video so you can get your copy. And then A Conversation with Mama debuts on Mother's Day. It's coming back for its second season. And those first few episodes that I've seen, my goodness, I'm just excited about what those two women are able to get across on screen so that you can feel the love of God through their program. So right now we're going to bring Avalon back in, and then Avalon, can you believe that Spencer and Bianca are talking about the same thing?
Same topic, right? Yes. Yes, and maybe because he's older now, it can help her see what might come down the pike, as her
Yeah,
daughter get
yeah.
older.
Yep. So Bianca, we're gonna bring you back in, and then we're gonna bring in Spencer. We want you guys to meet each other. Bianca, this is Spencer. Spencer, this is Bianca Frank.
Hi, Spencer.
Hi, nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you as well.
Wow. Spencer, Bianca's book. Tell Spencer briefly about your book, Bianca.
I'll show you the cover if you can see. I wrote this book kind of dedicated or in lieu of my daughter. She's 13, who was diagnosed with ADHD. And oftentimes those kids are, oh, you're too much, you're too loud, you have big emotions, like you're just over the top. So I titled it My Brain is a Superpower because I wanted to let her know it's not that you are too much or you're kind of living life a little bit too loud. Like if you channel your creativity, channel your emotions, like it can be a superpower for you. Just have to know how to use it. So I wrote this book, and in the book is about a little girl, Kaylee Johnson, and she has these 3 different modes. So it's zoom mode, turbo mode, and rainbow mode for her feelings, when she's laser focused or just moving too fast. And she uses these different modes in school. She's in a brain super academy, so she meets other people who are just like her. And then she starts to help people out. And the premise of the book is they go through a maze using their different modes to unlock something at the end. So yeah, this book it made me think of my daughter because she's 13. We're navigating all of the modes and probably some modes that I haven't thought of just yet.
Wow.
So it's been, like I was telling him earlier, every day is definitely a journey for her. And as a mom, navigating it, I'm still learning how to, help her. And me, myself, I was diagnosed with ADHD at 30 or 31. So, but I had just been living with it without a title for so long. So.
I love the fact that Spencer said women know how to say that again, Spencer. Women know how to.
They're better at masking it.
Yes.
Masking, not handling, but masking. Yeah, that's a perfect description. Perfect.
I'm very bad at masking it.
Masking is hard though.
It's exhausting. It takes a lot of
exhausting because it's
energy.
almost like you're out here in the world because you don't want people to necessarily detect it. So you put on this shield to appear normal. Meanwhile, your brain is going insane.
Wow.
And one of the hallmarks of ADHD is we don't have as good emotional regulation. So our emotions are actually stronger than other people's. So when you're out there masking it and suddenly you feel alone, and that actually is multiplied even more. So it makes it even harder to mask it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I commend you being able to do it. I can't.
I think as an adult, I can mask. My daughter cannot.
No, it's harder to do it when you're younger. And actually, one of the interesting things right now, it's probably a problem for her, but will eventually become a big superpower, is social interaction. So she'll do something more than likely that will embarrass her. And because she feels that embarrassment more, she's much more likely to learn how to avoid it in the future. And as this happens more and more, she becomes a better conversationalist. She becomes better at handling people and understanding people.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Time.
I like
You got to get there.
Yeah.
I've
never heard it put like that. I like that because that makes me hopeful for her. Because when she does experience the embarrassment, just yesterday she was at cheer and she was like, my coach made me cry. And I'm like, well, what happened? She said she told me that another cheerleader who was trying out for the first time was louder than her, but she said it in front of people. So Kaylin's like, I just immediately start crying. I said, okay. I said, so what did you do after? She said, I got louder. I said, well, good. I said, well, but the embarrassment instantly, that hurt her feelings. And she was like, even though I was just supposed to be louder, all she could see was like, you called me out in front of all of these people. And if it was up to her without some redirection, she would have walked out that room.
We've got 2 questions that came in, and I'm not sure who they're for. One question is, do you have any characters in your book that have ADHD? So Spencer, you want to answer that one first?
In the first 2 books, I don't have any that are blatantly ADHD, but in the 3rd book, which is coming out this year, I actually remember I said each demon has a flaw. Her flaw is she's basically the personification of ADHD, except that she doesn't have any of those, the regulation. Like, she wants to have fun no matter who it hurts.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
So I do try to, in that sense, I'm like villainizing ADHD a little bit, but not the person, the thing, the bad parts of it. I mean,
okay.
I actually am glad that I have ADHD. It makes me very creative, but it is still a struggle.
Okay. Okay. And Bianca, I think you may have answered the second question about the second question came in and it said, is it harder to have ADHD as a child or an adult? So either one of you, both of you can answer
I
that.
think as an adult, it's harder because as we talked about the masking, because as a child, I don't think you know how to mask. So you're just who you are and you kind of learn to navigate as a child. But like for me, masking is rough. Like it's exhausting it's almost like when I get home, I have to kind of debrief and like, okay, I can be who I am here because I mean, my family knows, but at work, it is not, I do not walk around wearing a t-shirt that says, hello, I was diagnosed at 30 or 31. Like, I don't do that. So, and again, like I'm good at my job. But sometimes I have hard days, but I feel like I have to flip a switch constantly. So at the end of the day, I feel like sometimes I'm like ripping off layers. Like, okay, I can be me.
Wow.
At 6 p.m. But from the hours of like morning time to like 4, I feel like I gotta tighten up a lot,
Wow.
most of the time every day. But Kaylin doesn't have to do that. She doesn't even know what masking is. So every day she just lives her life unapologetically because right now that is all she knows how to do. So when we are working through things like, hey, when you said this, while you may not have meant it that way, your brain was like rapid fire. I mean, you're just saying everything that comes out your mouth. And she's like, okay, so what's wrong with that? And I'm like,
right.
So I think while it is still a challenge for a child, they have an advantage when they don't know what masking is because they are true to themselves at all times, no matter what.
Mm-hmm. True to themselves.
I find it different. It's not harder or easier. When I was younger, harder to take care of all those emotions, harder to make friends and things like that. As I'm older, I'm more prone to having depression. And I said I started that book in 2011. It didn't get published in 2024. There's a reason for that. And it was in 2023 was when I actually went and started taking medicine for ADHD again and dealing with the depression. And suddenly I finished the book. So it gets in the way of doing the things I want to do. It's hard. Both. It's just different.
Wow.
I think I'm trying to understand the masking part. Exactly what is going on there when you say you're masking?
I think for me to put it in maybe plainer terms, I don't want to call it fake. It's almost like I don't want someone to ask me, do you have ADHD?
Mm-hmm.
So I do my very best to Like, I will make a checklist so I can make sure that I like dot all my I's and cross all my T's. Because if I don't, I'm more prone to probably missing something or a lot of things. I've tried to function without checklists, and it's probably not a great idea. Like at home, I don't make a checklist. I just kind of fly by the seat of my pants because I feel like it's more accepting at home. At work, I can't do that. Also, in my profession, I take care of people, so I definitely can't do that. But I am more structured outside of my house, to be honest, than I am at home. Just because I don't want a lot of questions like, are you okay? It seems like you're having like 14 thoughts at one time, because I probably am. But instead of like my husband, he can look at me and say, you have a lot going on in your head right now. And I'm like, yes, I do. And he will allow me to say every single thing I need to say. And it might sound like a run on sentence, but he can follow me. Everyone can't do that outside of my confined walls, if
Wow.
that makes sense.
Wow. Spencer's nodding his head like he like he can relate. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. It's typical for someone with ADHD to have a messier home, to not do all the checklists and everything. And yeah, I'm really bad at that.
Wow.
For me, I understand someone with ADHD needs to keep their emotions inside. They're trying to mask it, which, is very hard for a kid. And I'm more likely to start talking and just keep talking, or to interrupt people. And I've become very cognizant of the fact that, like, my brother who has ADHD will interrupt people all the time. So I stop myself and I make certain that I don't do it. But I have to make that mental connection, make the choice. And sometimes I make that choice a little too late. And then I go, did I just embarrass myself? And I got to just let it go. Otherwise, I will dwell on it forever.
I feel like we think a lot harder to make sure, like, okay, let me make sure, like, for instance, what Spencer said, let me make sure I let someone complete their full thought. It's like you have to, I want them to finish, because as they're talking, I'm having so many thoughts that I want to respond to every single thing you said. And I want to say it right now, but you have to let them finish. So you have to kind of like, okay, let me wait till they're done and try to remember everything I want to respond to, but courtesy of letting that person finish what they need to say. Because if someone doesn't get it, they're going to be like, dang, she's rude, or he's rude. Like every time I talk, they're cutting me off. And it's not that. I just want to respond to everything that you said. And I kind of wanted to do it as soon as you said it.
Yeah. And sometimes when you do that, the conversation gets away and you never get back to that subject. You're like,
Okay. Yeah, I think I have a better understanding now. Yeah.
There's it's called neurodivergence. So neurotypical is someone who does not have one of these set conditions. ADHD is one of them. Autism is another one. They do have some overlapping things, but they're not the same thing.
Right.
And so there's a lot of people with neurodivergence who have this problem.
Spencer, another question came in for you. You write about demons. Do you have any angels in any of your books? Okay.
So in this one, the Sinister Love, she is an imp who, in the end, it's a story about redemption. But all of the demons were once in limbo with the angels. They were all angels at the same time. And so her old boyfriend is still an angel.
Oh.
And his name is Valerius. She is supposed to be tempting a human. And so she sits on the human's left shoulder. And on the right shoulder is the angel, who is his voice of reason, conscience. And his name is Boniface. And so you do see the angels act very differently. I have several of the archangels in there. Raguel is kind of like a cop. She's like the chief of police, more or less. And in my story, they can change. They're not supposed to be able to change. And I'm not going to tell you why, because there's more plot behind it. But they notice that they're starting to actually be able to make these decisions that they shouldn't have been able to make. And so there's potential for more of them to fall or to be redeemed.
Fantasy. We've got a couple of things that I want you to know about. Doretha Smith says, I understand the mask because of my vision loss. That makes perfectly good sense. Almost fake it till you make it, Bianca. Almost, but I got it. And we also have Nakia Marie who's watching. Thank you so much, Nakia. We appreciate you for being here. And I want to thank those that are watching on YouTube. Be sure you like and subscribe so that you'll get the notifications when we're on. This is Books and Besties, and it looks like Jeffrey Lee will be joining us in just a little bit. So I'm excited about that. Let me do this one thing because we got just a couple of videos that I need you all to see. We're going to play these videos and we'll be back with more of Books and Besties in just a minute. Mommy, why do I have a cold? Written by Avalon Soulette Brown. Dedications. This book is dedicated to all of my grandchildren. You are always coming to hug and kiss Nana, especially when you have runny noses, sneeze, or cough. Nana loves you. Let's work together to keep the germ population down.
Mommy, where do colds come from? Why do I have one?
Mommy, why do I have a cold? Written by Avalon Soulette Brown. Narrated by Sonia B., Sandra B., produced for audiobook by NGB Productions, and narrated by me, the Queen Bee, Angie. I've had wives and I've had friends, an anthology for women written by the men we are trying to love. Gentlemen, you are cordially invited to become an author by sharing your thoughts and experiences in our anthology. Tell us about your love for sports. Tell us about your love for grooming. Tell us about your love for gaming. Tell us what you want us to know. Submit your bio, headshot, and your story, along with the submission fee of $250. Send it to author Avalon Brown 165 at yahoo.com, or you may send your info to angiebpresents at gmail.com. An anthology for women written by the men we are trying to love. I've had wives and I've had friends. Brought to you by author Avalon S. Brown and me, the Queen Bee, Dr. Angie B. Hey, Avalon, we learning a lot today.
Telling you, yes. I'm telling you.
Learning a lot. Jeffrey, if you're with us, turn your camera on so we can get you up on the screen. And that's all right. I'm just waiting patiently for him to turn his camera on and we can go from there. But Spencer, I want you to come back in because we have another question for you. The question is your twin neurodivergent as well? I think you may have answered that earlier, but
Yes, we both have ADHD. We were both diagnosed at the same time. Yeah.
Wow, I tell you, I admire those that raised you because we're still learning. Bianca gave a lot of good advice from what she's learned, but our parents didn't have the resources that we all have now. Yeah, didn't have those resources.
Wow.
Yeah, we're still learning a lot about it. I had no clue that it was involved with time blindness and all these other things. RSVD, rejection sensitivity dysphoria, is one of the bigger ones for me. I had no idea.
Good.
I never even heard the term.
What? Yeah, what is that? Rejection. Say that again.
Rejection sensitivity dysphoria. It means someone who has ADHD is not just likely to try to avoid a situation where they know they're going to be rejected. They're going to avoid even the chance of any kind of rejection. So if there's an email and I think one of those emails might be bad, I just won't check my email for a week.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It affects a lot of relationships.
I call it of avoiding confrontation, but maybe
it's like avoiding confrontation turned up to 11.
Yeah, maybe it's a little deeper than that. Just a little bit deeper. Wow, I tell you, I've learned so much, but I'm so excited about your book series, fantasy with angels and demons and in relationships, and wow.
Well, I have the two. They're actually both the first book in two trilogies, but the two are in the same universe. And so you don't have to read one to read the other, but they do kind of interact a little bit. So the demon that I talked about that has ADHD is not in this series. She's in the other one.
Okay.
Oh, man. I talked with a friend of mine years ago. She writes novels, and she said she thought she was finished with the second book, but then she had a character that she left standing on the street corner, and that character kept coming to her. What are you gonna do with me? What are you gonna do with me? So now she's got a trilogy, and that what you're describing sounds just like what she said to me, that you got characters and they may be in one book and not another, but they're screaming to get back in there. So
yep.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Love it. What advice do you have for someone who wants to create a fantasy series, a whole new world? What advice would you share, Spencer?
Base it in something that you know. I'm not saying the world has to be, but the story is not going to be about the world. If the story is about the world, you're doing something wrong. All the stories are about being human. I'm sure maybe they're elves, but it's still the essential of some shared experience that we all have. And all you're using the fantasy story for is a way to frame that in a new way, to get people to think about it in a new way. So as long as you have that human element, that's the important part.
Human element. Okay. All right. All right. Next comment came in and said, "This is fascinating."
Thank you.
This is fascinating. Wow. I tell you.
I actually choose urban fantasy. It means it's a modern world with fantasy elements. So half of the world's already built for me.
Yeah, you answered this question. Is there medication to treat ADHD?
It's one of the more treatable conditions that we have. They have different kinds of medication, stimulant and non-stimulant. I'm currently on one called Vyvanse. It was very expensive until recently, and it's the one that has worked for me the best. It has the least side effects, but you would definitely want to go to a doctor and talk to them about it. The old-fashioned Ritalin, methylphenidate. There's also dexmethylphenidate and lismethylphenidate. There's Strattera. Yeah, there's a huge list of these medicines, and they all come with side effects. Yeah, and also it's very common for someone with ADHD to have depression. So depression has some of the same symptoms as ADHD. So they do get conflated, or even they build on each other. So you want to take care of the depression as well. That can sometimes mean more than just medication. I also have a therapist.
Oh, yes.
Or getting a physical trainer, because I know I'll never go to the gym unless I have someone who's actually going to kick my butt if I don't go. And keeping your body healthy and active helps your brain, and it makes it easier for the depression and things like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, next question for you. Are you self-published or do you have a publisher? And
So I'm indie published.
okay.
It's like 75% self-published, and then I have someone who takes care of distributing it and formatting it, things like that. I could have him find editors and beta readers and things like that for me. So sometimes it does help having someone in your corner.
Yeah, have someone extra just looking over
Yeah.
everything. That is good.
The difference between an indie publisher and a small publisher is a small publisher will take anything that you send them. An indie publisher will vet it and decide whether or not they want to print it.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm learning something new every day.
I've
Yes.
done a lot of research into this. I've actually taught some kids. I've taught a few classes on it. And I'm always willing to learn more and to teach it to other people so everyone can, know what's going on.
Absolutely. Bianca, we're going to bring you back in. I think this next question is for you. So the question basically said, how do you help your daughter? And do you and your daughter have similar symptoms?
So that's funny. My husband used to tell me that me and my daughter act alike, and I'm like, no, absolutely, we do not. But I do see some things in her, and I'm like, oh, maybe there's some things there. What I've started doing with her is I bought her a whiteboard that I can like almost Velcro attach to her door, and we make checklists. Um, and we're very routined. So I make a checklist for her daily, like when she comes home, this is what needs to be done. It's the satisfaction of checking a box that she did it. I also, I've learned when I ask her to do something, and this was honestly through therapy, I cannot verbally tell her to do 3 things at one time, even if they're simple tasks, that's too much. So we do checklists. I give minimal direction at a time. We also have a hard, like, for instance, cell phone stop. Your phone is off at 9 p.m. on the dresser. Don't use it. Our schedule does not fluctuate on a day-to-day basis. She wakes up at the same time for school every day. School is the same time every day. She gets home at the same time every day. We have an afternoon routine that unless she has a sporting activity, we do not deviate from. I also keep a calendar of the week on the refrigerator for everyone to see what we're doing, the household for, well, the ones who can read because the 5-year-old can't, but
yeah.
So everyone knows this is our schedule for the week. And the one thing I think that's helped her a lot is the checklist. So there's not a lot of guesswork. These are the things you need to do when you get home. I tried this. I no longer expect for her to just come home and know what to do, even though we do the same things every single day. I make that list. She's also started asking me more questions like, can you help me stay more organized? She also has a checklist in her room. It's almost like a daily checklist. When she gets home, clean your room, clean your bathroom, make sure you're ready for the next day in detail. Getting ready for the next day means pack your softball bag, pack your cheer bag, lay your clothes out so I can see them before the next day. We do not tolerate, we have like hard stop rules. Whatever you lay out that night is what you need to wear in the morning. If you put it out at night, you do not change your clothes in the morning time unless the weather does something super drastic. Don't fidget through your dressers in the morning. And we've started recently doing like affirmations. It's a lot of conversation, and the older she gets, the more I feel like, not in a bad way, that she's a little bit more needy the older she gets. But the checklist and the daily schedule, we don't differ too much. There's something about change she can't get with. So we don't do a lot of switch ups in our schedule. It's very routine.
Okay, sounds good. Your schedule is set and it's the routine is there and
Yes.
that helps. Okay. I like that. I like that. Avalon is a grandmother. You have grandkids and great
Great
grandkids, right,
grand.
Avalon?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I think that would work with anyone. Not to say that not to diminish what you're saying, but I know with my kids when they were little and with little nieces and nephews, trying to get into a schedule is a really important aspect of maintaining sanity.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Avalon, you have any other questions for our guests?
No, no, they've answered all my questions. This has been very interesting. I learned a lot
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
more than I knew when my grandson, he's 26 now, but I mean, during the time he was going through that, I learned a lot. I understand him even more now because of, as an adult, listening to the two of them having ADHD as adults,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
because in my mind, I'm always thinking about the children. So, I
Yes.
never focus.
Oh, we lost Evelyn again. No problem. Nope, she'll be back. She'll be back. And our next guest, Jeffrey Lee, says that he's having issues with his camera coming on. So hopefully we'll get him squared away within the next few minutes as well. So a fantasy book and a reality book from Bianca. We got fantasy from Spencer and reality from Bianca. I so appreciate both of you. It's just Avalon. I was just saying I appreciate both of them for where they're coming from. Spencer with the fantasy and Bianca with the reality.
Right. Yes.
It's just incredible. Just
Sorry, the rain here is bothering my internet. We're not getting along.
tell
Keeps
me,
popping me in and out.
what city and state are you in? Are you in Avalon? Avalon. What city and state are
Yes.
you in?
I didn't hear you.
What city and state do you live in?
Oh, I'm in New Jersey, Newark, New Jersey.
Yep. So they got rain in Newark. Well, Spencer, I want to invite you to be a part of our anthology that Avalon and I are working on. I've had wives and I've had friends. So,
Mhm.
Avalon, I'll send you some information on that. And Bianca, what is your next book project you think you're working on?
So my mom and I were talking, and we actually think we want to do a sequel.
Mm.
So a part two of this book, and the way the book ends, it will our hope is that it'll be more the main character, her name is Kylie. The book two will be more about her leadership skills after she moved on from the Brain Superpower Academy. So
Mm.
Okay.
we're thinking we'll do a book two. I also, and I, before I had a little bit more confidence, I actually wrote another children's book for like a younger, like 5-year-old pre-K kindergarten. I wrote the whole manuscript and then I deleted it.
Oh,
And
purposely? You did
I,
it intentionally?
yes, I did.
Oh,
I
wow.
was so scared. I was like, what if no one reads it? I said, I don't know. So I was like, I wasn't ready. Well, what I forgot was I sent my best friend a Google Doc of it. So when I told him I deleted it, he was like, no, you didn't. I'm like, yeah, I don't have it. He said, I do. And I was like, oh, I
Good. Oh, yeah.
need that
Nice.
back. So
There's
um,
there's your rejection sensitivity just for you right there.
I was like, I don't know
Yeah.
about this. So I intentionally deleted it so I wouldn't go back and like keep reading it. So I got rid of it completely. Well, he still has it. So I think now that I've done my brain is my superpower and I feel better, I feel more ready. I would like to publish my book for the younger kids as well, since he found my manuscript.
That is wonderful. Wonderful,
Yes.
wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, yeah. An example of that dysphoria right there.
Yeah. I
Oh my.
never looked back. If he hadn't told me he had it, I was like, oh well, it's what's done is done. I was like, that's gone now. But I think I'm also in a better place. I think it's writing a book. It takes a lot of courage to put yourself out there once you write it, because it is those fears like, well, what if no one likes it? What if no one ever reads it? What if it doesn't sell? All the what ifs. But now I think for me, it's more just an accomplishment to have written it and publish it and get it done. Even if one person in the whole universe just reads it, I am okay with that now. Back then, I was not. I was nervous. So, but now I feel a little bit more confident in what I'm doing in my project. And really it's for me. Like, it's an accomplishment for me, like, to say I wrote this, I loved it, and I'm putting it out there for anybody, So
That makes sense. That
yeah.
putting it out there for anybody. Excited about that. Spencer, did you have any questions for Bianca?
No, I don't think questions. I do want to say having ADHD means you're more creative, easier to make the book, but also definitely makes it harder to get it out there, because you're worried no one's going to read it. Just yesterday, I lost a reader, and I was done for the day. I was depressed, and it hurts. It's very hard.
I will say for on this platform, it's been number one refreshing to also talk to someone else who understands, how our brains work. It's not too often that someone is also more open about it too. So to actually say things and someone's like, I get it, I understand, so that was definitely refreshing. And also for your books, I think it's super cool that you write fantasy. I think that it makes your brain go crazy, but in like the most positive way. So I think that is super, super cool. And I would love I don't know or can I get your book off of your website?
Yep.
I'd love to read it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I admire you being able to make, is it fiction or nonfiction, creative nonfiction?
It's creative nonfiction.
Creative nonfiction. Yeah. I had my head around a creative nonfiction piece. It's very personal. It's going to be the most difficult thing I've ever written.
Yeah.
I admire that you're able to do it.
Yeah. It's and I think one thing I want to get better at, I mean, also I work, full time, and I have a family, but in our next home, whenever that may be, I want like a writing nook, because I think when I have my moments where I just need to like release on paper, I could write for hours. Sometimes that's difficult just with the hustle and bustle of everyday life. But like, I'm in school, and when they're like, write a discussion post, I'm dragging. But if you give me a sheet of paper and like write or like a writing prompt, and I can just go crazy with it, I love it.
Wow.
It.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That romance novel, 50,000 words, I wrote it in 1 month.
Wow.
Oh, goodness.
And editing it.
Wow.
Yeah, because I just got in the zone.
Wow.
I just kept going. That hyper focus
Oh
is
my
very good
goodness.
for writing.
Hyper focus works in our favor sometimes.
Yes, it does.
Did you sleep? Did you eat? You just
Right?
I slept, and sometimes I ate.
Avalon and
They
I
just
struggle to
forgot.
get to
That's a
10,000 words. Yeah.
That's a lot. Yes. In a month. Yes.
50,000 words.
But you know what I'd like to ask Bianca. It has nothing to do with your book, because you have the ADHD and the way you was explaining it. Does it affect you at work? You know how, with nurses, you have 2 or 3 doctors come and give you an order at the same time. Does that bother you?
Funny enough, no. No, because work is so I have 2 jobs. When I work at the hospital, that doesn't bother me. Mentally, I take care of people. So I feel like I know that I cannot mess up in that arena, but I go to work and do the same thing every day too. So at my hospital job, it's this particular floor It's very routine. So when I walk in and look at the schedule and look at my patient load or whatever room I'm in, I know I can almost predict how my day will go. So I know what to expect already. Where my ADHD has affected me in work sometimes is, oh, I think we lost her again.
Go ahead. She can watch the replay.
Where it has affected me at work is in my other job. To be honest, I work remotely for a nursing school. Because I have so much autonomy there, that affects me more because it is up to me. I get my assignment on Monday. I know what to do on Monday. It needs to be done by Friday. So I have between Monday and Friday to do everything they're asking me to do.
Mm.
And sometimes I will wait until Wednesday
Mm-hmm.
to do everything that I should have been started on Monday.
Mm.
So then what am I doing? On Wednesday, I'm up super late doing all of the things that I should have done on Monday. And yes, I have fallen behind, or yes, I have missed a step grading work because I'm like, "Oh, I just should have started this earlier." So I will say, honestly, I've gotten better because I've had a few conversations. And it's not that I don't know what I'm doing, I just put it off. I just kept saying, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. But when I'm at the hospital, I can't do it tomorrow.
Right.
It has to be done right then. There is a time block of when this patient gets into your room, we have to do this case. We have to stop, move on to the next one because there's someone following behind them. So it's just way more routine and structured. And essentially, I'm honestly following someone else's rules too. So in my brain, I'm like, I have to do it because if I mess up here, it makes our whole day run behind. My remote job, I have too much time of my own.
That's the time blindness.
Yeah.
With ADHD, you can't really understand how much time something takes. And so I know going and picking up that thing will take me like 2 minutes. But for some reason in my head, it's like a 2-hour ordeal and I just don't want to do it. So we procrastinate and always put things off.
And then I like to think that I work better under pressure.
Yeah.
No, but yes, to that, like I will have stuff to take back to UPS. UPS is 7 minutes from my house. It has taken me a month to just get there and return the items because to me, it seems like a large task, even though it's only 7 minutes away.
Wow.
So sometimes I have a pile of things that need returning and I'm always right before the cutoff deadline of return. I'm like the day before.
Wow.
So, but I will say what I've started doing that helps. I will set a timer, I'll set a timer for 2 hours. Work in these time blocks. It starts with a P. Because I wrote about it. It's like the prodromo technique or something like that. I might be saying it wrong, but essentially it's working in time blocks. So I'll start trying that. So I have a 2-hour time block, like sit down and do your work. When I'm working remotely, sit down for 2 hours and do your work. When that timer goes off, you stop and you take a break. I need a break. So I take my break and I will set another timer to either work more or do something else. That has helped. And I learned about that study through a discussion post at school, honestly.
Incredible.
There's a resource I like to watch on YouTube, How to ADHD. She goes over a lot of this stuff. It's very good. I would recommend it.
That might be good for my dissertation too, because I have to get a sample population and, still working through my research, but just to have different tools to pull from. It's called How to ADHD.
There you go.
Yeah, How to ADHD.
Wow.
I like that. Okay.
All right. Final call for questions, viewers. If you have a question, go ahead and text it to 407-914-6519. That's 407-914-6519. We can get our guests to answer your questions and get all of this good information out and about so everyone can see it. Just another reminder, Mother's Day weekend, we're going to be on the air for 24 hours. Avalon is going to be my cheerleader to help me stay awake for 24 hours. We'll be talking with Maternal Matters Favored, mmfavored.org. Will be raising money for their programs to help people that have mental health disorders that are surrounding pregnancy and childbirth. And so mmfavored.org for more information. We want you to search for Maternal Matters Favored on Facebook and get ready to make a donation. You'll be able to see why this is just a wonderful organization to get behind. They'll have statistics, they'll have testimonies, just a lot of information, and we'll be on for 24 hours. I can't say that enough. We'll be. This is our fourth year bringing this broadcast, and so we're excited about it. All right, it's just about time for us to end the show. Do you have any final thoughts, Bianca, that you can share with our audience?
I will just say if anyone, adult or child, is dealing with ADHD or any neurodivergence, do not ever disappear into the shadows because of a diagnosis. Like, there are people who are out there willing to help you, to hear you, to understand you. And I think just dealing with this, like with my daughter, and myself, it's kind of finding your people. I think I've been really blessed to find my village for myself and my child, and it's been very helpful. And it's a never ending learning process. I think now that mental health is also a more broad discussion, there are more resources. Yes, you have to do your research, but it's not such a hush hush topic anymore. So I just say to anyone, give yourself grace if you're dealing with it, if you have a child dealing with it. Um, it gets better in the sense of you can find the help that you need. Do not be afraid of medication. Some people shy away from it. It works. I believe in medication, therapy, and Jesus, all three.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Whatever, and that's not to push anyone towards a religion, whatever you believe in, but all three have worked for me and my family. So I do say there's light at the end of the tunnel. The journey is difficult, but there is some positive in it as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for those final thoughts. Spencer, I want you to know you've got the voice of an audiobook narrator. You got the equipment, you got the voice. So
I actually do record my own audiobooks, and I'm willing to record other people's audiobooks.
Good for you. Good for you.
Wow,
Good
nice.
you. Do you have any final thoughts you'd like to share with our audience?
I mean, it's going to be a self-plug. I'm going to be releasing a Kickstarter for my next book, hopefully tentatively on June 1st. It might get pushed back a little bit, but I'm trying to just get some hype up so people know. Because the last time I did it, the election kind of shot it dead in the water. So I want to do it right this time.
Okay.
So I'll have that up on my website later today. So if you go to my website, you'll see it.
All right. Spencer Hickson, SpencerHixon.com. Thank you both. We appreciate you, and we're going to release you now so you can enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Thanks, Bianca.
Thank you for
Thank you very
coming.
much.
Yes.
I had a
Thank
good
you.
time.
Appreciate you, dear. Wow. That was fascinating, Avalon.
Yes. This has been very informative day.
Yeah.
Even though I kept getting kicked out.
It's the weather. It's the weather. I'm glad you were able
I
to
enjoyed
make it.
this. Yes.
We had a really good time. Really
Yes.
good time. And Spencer is so fascinating. Angels and demons.
Yes, together.
And the names of the characters. Oh, I had trouble coming up with names for my daughters, much less characters.
Wow. I know.
Fascinating. I love it. Love it. I love it. Well, we got just another quick little video I got to show you guys because we've got the YEP program. We're recruiting young students that want to become authors and entrepreneurs. So I'm going to play these quick little videos and we'll be right back, everybody. Don't go anywhere. Please allow us to introduce you to one of the graduates of our YEP program.
Hi, I'm Sandra B. I live in Michigan. And yep, I'm an author.
YEP, Youth Entrepreneur Author Program. Our goal is to initiate literacy in students and lead them to entrepreneurship through authorship. Our mission is to identify and invite organizations to participate in this program. Students participate in virtual writing workshops where they are encouraged to write their stories and provide reviews of stories read. We ask you to support our youth. For a donation of only $50, your company or organization will be mentioned as a youth supporter in the next audiobook. Send an email to yepI'mAnAuthor@gmail.com to provide a scholarship for a young person to participate.
Yep, I'm an author.
Proceeds are accepted and disbursed by NGB Productions. And now, these students are authors and entrepreneurs. Follow us online. Just search for Yep, I'm an Author on Facebook. Use the hashtag Yep, I'm an Author. Or call 407-914-6519. That's 407-914-6519 for more information. This program is sponsored in part by NGB and Barty Productions.
Yep, I'm an author.
It's nice to be able to work with students so that they can become authors as well. So recruiting students, if you have any questions, just get in touch with us, 407-914-6519. All right, Avalon, bringing you back in so we can get ready to get out of here. I appreciate everything that you do for this show, Avalon. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm not going to say I couldn't do it without you because I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, but he don't strengthen me to do this show by myself. He sent you, and you are the blessing that we needed for this show today. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, if it's the Lord's will, we'll be back on another Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. with Books and Besties. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Bye-bye.